Capcom made some of the most iconic arcade games, and they are about ready to release their second major compilation, Capcom Arcade Second Stadium, for the PlayStation 4, Switch, Xbox One, and Steam. And I'm really excited to share with you all 32 games in this new collection. I did the first compilation on my channel. The link will be below to that. And this is including many of the games many people requested them to include in that collection. You can purchase the whole compilation for $40, or you can buy individual titles for $3.99. So I think this is a great deal. And as you are about ready to see, this compilation includes several classics that you are going to want to play. So sit back, relax, let's take a look. There are a ton of settings that you can do in this game, as well as a few extra that you can get. Additional price, invincibility. There is a display frame set that you can get, and that is free until August 5th. But there's lots of different filters, and there's a rewind feature. There is just a ton of ways of playing this, as well as things that you unlock as you progress in each game. There's time challenges, there's daily challenges, special challenges, and here is Sun. This game is free. This is, I do believe, the first release Capcom did in the United States, and you know, this is kind of a forgotten classic, but you know, for free, hey, not bad. And one that I don't have a lot of experience with. You might have played this a lot more than I did, but you know, it's nice that Capcom knows their history and is offering this in this collection, as there's a lot of people that probably haven't played it. Next is a bonus game called 3 Wonders, and what it is a trilogy of 3 games that you can get free if you pre-order or purchase the Capcom Fighting Collection, which just came out and I did a video on. And the first game, Midnight Wanderers, pretty awesome. And there's a rewind feature in these games. Awesome. The next game is Chariot, and this is kind of a Gradius style shooter. Really like the artwork in these games, and fantastic trilogy of games, all considered to be one arcade release. Really think this is a great bonus game that's offered. And then the next part is Don't Pull, and this kind of reminds me a little bit of Pengo. A really neat and creative puzzle game with many stages and those classic, iconic Capcom graphics, which made them very popular in the arcades. Next up is Savage Bees. You can change the screen from English to Japanese on the title screen. The Japanese game was called X'd Eyes, and this is a early release from Capcom, a vertical shooter, bug themed. Liked it. If you like games like Xevious, you're going to enjoy this. As mentioned before, there's lots of filter and side artwork options. If you don't want any artwork, you can have it like this. But anyways, aspect ratio and all that can be adjusted, even tape mode. So, Gunsmoke, iconic, classic, early Capcom arcade game, and I know that a lot of people are going to be happy this is included. This is a game I remember playing in the arcades as a kid. The Speed Rumbler, I do believe it's called Russian Crash, overseas. A lot of fun, fairly violent, and I like the aspect of this game where you're going around, you're saving people, you're collecting weapons. It's got that Mad Max feel to it, for sure. Awesome. Next up is a side-scrolling shooter, and this is Hyperdyne, sidearms. Lots of fun here. I played the TurboGrafx one growing up. Really liked the arcade version though. Very fast, and you can adjust the speed in every game. It's just a simple press of a button and you can choose different speeds, and playing games at different speeds adds a challenge. Avengers is a vertically scrolling beat 'em up, and I enjoyed this one. I played this one somewhere. I don't know exactly where, but I did enjoy this early classic. The creator, the programmer of this, worked on games such as Trojan, and you can tell the resemblance. And I want to definitely play this more. Black Tiger is another game that many people requested after the first compilation came out, and I'm really happy to see this here. This is kind of a game that's difficult, but one that I remember vividly playing in the late 80s. I remember this game being fairly challenging, and with the extra options on how to play this game, this is the perfect time to go back and play this. Kind of interesting to go back and play the original Street Fighter from '87, as you know, to see how much it progressed with its sequel, which everybody played. Going back and playing this, old school fighting game is definitely something interesting, and not my favorite game on this list, but well worth checking out. This is another one, Tiger Road, which I played mostly the remake on the TurboGrafx 16. So, offering this to probably a wide audience that hasn't experienced it is awesome. Again, I mentioned before, there's tons of side artwork options as well as screen filters that you can choose from. All right, another solid release on this package is 1943 Kai, and I know there's going to be several shooter fans that are happy to see this. Very, very difficult game, 16 stages, tons of power-ups, and hidden things to find. If you're a classic vertical shooter fan, this is for you. Here's a game I didn't have a lot of experience with, but was ported to several classic computers, and that's Last Duel. So, just another example of Capcom taking games from their past that they know people want to play or have not heard of and putting them in a compilation. I think that's awesome, and this is definitely one that's pretty obscure. As you play, you get points and you unlock things such as artwork. There are triumphs, which are their built-in achievements. And this is next up, and this is Rally 2011 Leadstorm, kind of a racing battle game. Not a lot of experience with this one either. Capcom really went fairly uncommon to obscure with this package, with some games sprinkling in as well as classics. 3 years after Black Tiger, Capcom released this, and this is Magic Sword. Very popular game, and one that was requested on the first compilation of games, and there was some criticism of them not including it. Well, here it is, and it's in its entirety. So awesome to see this. I know many hack and slash fans are going to really enjoy this one, as this is one of the better ones on this compilation. Next up is the King of Dragons, and Capcom was really hitting their stride by now. The early 90s, they were just coming up with several hits. Really nice to see that this game that I remember growing up and playing is included on this compilation. And if you want to get any one of these games by themselves, it's $3.99. This Breakout meets Arkanoid clone, Block, is fairly obscure and definitely the odd duck of the collection. But I'm glad it's included here, as it's a little bit different than a shooter, than a fighter, than a hack and slash. There's probably not a lot of people that have played this one. Knights of the Round is another 3-player side-scrolling hack and slash with kind of an RPG leveling up system that is definitely what I really like to see on this compilation. These are my types of games. This is a game that I intend to go back and beat with a buddy of mine, as I never beat it back in the day. If you like wrestling games, you're going to love Saturday Night Slam Masters. As you know, there's lots of wrestling fans out there that love video games, especially this. It's got Mike from Final Fight in it. 2 main modes in this, and you can have a lot of fun with your buddies. Definitely worth checking out, as I enjoy myself an arcade wrestling game, and this fits the bill. Next, you got a shooter, Echo Fighter. It's got a kind of unique control scheme where you rotate around a special weapon, and you can point and navigate this to take out various enemies from different directions. And I really enjoy this. It's got great graphics and good gameplay, and I don't have a lot of experience growing up with this one, so it's nice to see that on here, as I feel there's going to be others that want to check out these types of classic games and can experience them all in one spot. This was the first time for me playing this Japanese puzzle game. Plays a little bit like Puyo Puyo, and you know, from what I played, I definitely could see people liking this one, as it's a nice mix up from some of the other genres that are on this compilation. There's a few other puzzle games on this, but this one is by far probably the most obscure. Capcom also offered many fighters on this collection, and it's really nice to see the original Darkstalkers here. Such a fast and fluid game, lots of unique characters included as well, as I felt like I was playing a cartoon. It is just so well animated. Gosh, I love this game. But wait, there's more. You got Night Warriors, Darkstalkers Revenge, just taking the original, adding some different characters. It's so well done. I know that there are lots of Darkstalker fans. Which one is your favorite? Next, you have Street Fighter Alpha. And, you know, this really kind of took the Street Fighter in a somewhat different direction. And some people really enjoy this series. I don't have a ton of experience. I'm definitely more of a casual fighter. But, you know, I'm really glad to see this included in the collection, as you know, that was such a big part of Capcom during the 90s, and it's nice to see it represented here. Mega Man fans rejoice, as both arcade games are included in this compilation. What it is you take bosses from several Mega Man games and you get to fight them, and you know, there's weaknesses, and you collect weapons from various bosses and use them against others. Pretty cool. Street Fighter Alpha 2 takes the original and just improves upon it. Now, what you just saw there, you can change the speed of gameplay, and it really does change how you play fighters. I typically just keep it off, but you may want to mess around with it. Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo is one that's growing on me, as you know, I'm playing it more and really enjoy kind of the gameplay mechanics in this, where you know, you do a combo and then you send a bunch of garbage on to your opponent. I love that, and I'm really liking this one. Here's the other Mega Man fighting game, Mega Man 2 The Power Fighters. And I like this one. I think I like this one a little bit more. I need to play both of them more, but I found it really accessible. I'm sure it's going to be difficult to beat this, but I found myself getting through several bosses, and colorful graphics and great gameplay makes me keep coming back. It's awesome to see Vampire Savior on here, but you're probably wondering, wait a minute, didn't they just release a collection of fighting games? Yes, they did. 6 of those are on this, and then there's 4 from the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection. So that can be kind of confusing, but for people that didn't pick those up, this is kind of a nice buffet style of going back and revisiting some of Capcom's greatest fighting games. And you know, if you already picked those up, then you can pick up ones here and there for $4, or for $40 you can get this entire collection. Another oddity is Capcom Sports Club. Never seen this before. 3 sports games: soccer, basketball, and tennis. And not bad. You know, a little bit on the generic side. Kind of reminds me of, you know, they're trying to take, like, you know, that casual sports game and make it fun. But, you know, it's definitely got some good gameplay. I just don't know if I'm going to play it. Next up, you have Super Gem Fighter. And I know for some out there, they're big fans of this, as I covered this in a previous video because it is on the Capcom Fighting Collection. But if you didn't pick it up, here it is. And it's well done and a lot of fun going back and playing this. Also, there's gems such as Street Fighter Alpha 3, you know, and using the features such as speeding up gameplay. This can be a unique experience. With the filters and everything that you can add to the screen, aspect ratio, artwork, it's going to be a customized experience. Now, last and definitely not least, Street Fighter 2 Hyper Fighting takes all the Street Fighter versions and smashes them into one collection. It's pretty awesome, as there's many ways of playing your favorite Street Fighter II characters. I really like this version of this game, and it's a great way to end this collection. So that's the collection. What is your favorite? What are your memories? Comment below, as I know several of you grew up with these games or enjoy these games or played different versions of these games, and I know that I have experienced several of these in the arcades as well as home ports. So I know that there's going to be favorites out there. I know there's going to be people that are still wanting additional games. Who knows what's going to come, but right now you can get this starting July 22nd, and I think that's a great game collection. And so I'm really happy about sharing these types of videos on my channel. I've done many different things from Atari to Xbox. And if you like what you see, consider hitting that like and subscribe button and clicking the bell, as I'm uploading content every week. You folks are wonderful and beautiful. Let's keep it positive. And this is the Immortal John Hancock, and you take care.